Yo, welcome back, guys.
Yesterday, we watched a video and you completed a critical right over the law of conservation of mass. All right, remember, the law of conservation of mass says matter cannot be
Created or destroyed.
good. Okay, now we have a chemical equation here. This side right here, these guys are called the reactants. So let's write reactants. And the fancy science word for the arrow is yields. Okay, so we add this chemical to this chemical and it yields products over here. So we have reactants yielding the products. We've been counting atoms. We're going to practice counting atoms in equations. And according to the law of conservation of mass, if we have 100 total atoms on the reactant side, how many total atoms should we have over here? Good. We should, whatever we start with, we should end with. And so you're going to take a CFA today, and after the CFA, we have to kind of remain quiet. So you're going to practice looking at equations and telling if they follow the law of conservation of mass or not. We're going to practice here first. All right. So we have the reactants, we have the arrow, we have the products. So let's look at the reactant side. I see we have carbon. Let's move over. We have hydrogen. And we also, that's a 25, not an S. And then we have oxygen. All right. So let's count how many. This is a chemical formula, right? Okay. This is a chemical what?
Equation.
Good. This is the whole equation. Is this right here an equation or a formula? Good. That's right there, a formula. Okay. We've got carbon. We have 8 because of the subscript, but we can't forget the coefficient. So we have to do 8 times
2
is
16.
okay, so we have 16 carbons. We're going to go left to right. 8 hydrogens. We cannot forget the coefficient. 8 times 2 is 16. Good. All right. Move over to the oxygens. We have 2 oxygens but we have a coefficient. We have 25 molecules of oxygen. So we've got to do 25 times 2 is 50. Now, we're going to go over here, and we're going to, how many molecules of CO2 do we have?
16.
Okay, good. We have 16. We've got carbon. We have 1 carbon, correct? Times 16 gives us 16 carbons. We're going to scoot over 2 oxygens. 2 oxygens, 2 times 16, 32. So oxygen is 32. And then we move over, how many molecules of hydrogen? 18 molecules of hydrogen. Hydrogen has 2 times 18, 36. Okay, so the law of conservation of mass is what we start with, we've got to end up with. We can't gain or lose any atoms. So, does our carbon check out? Okay, so the carbon checks out. Hydrogen. Oops, what happened?
It multiplied.
We multiplied. Does that happen in nature? No. So we're going to say this is not following the law. Or should we say, is it following the law? We're going to write no. And then look what happened to oxygen.
It got
Oxygen went down. So, okay, this one is completely not following the law. All right, next one. Whew, look at all these. Is this a chemical formula or equation?
Equation.
Equation. Okay, in this chemical formula right here, how many elements are in it? Different elements. Show me fingers. Okay, good. I see 3. We have hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. So let's list these here. Hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen. Okay, how many molecules of whatever this is? How many molecules?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. We've got 3.
Also, we have iron. What?
Okay, now that was just in that formula. We can't forget our iron. All right, let's look at the product side. We have iron. We have sulfur. We have oxygen. We have hydrogen. Is it okay that these are out of order?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know how at the beginning of every unit, I switch your seating chart? Well, I don't get rid of students or gain students. I just move you guys around, right? That's kind of what happens in a chemical reaction. Okay, what is this side called?
The reactants.
Reactants. What's the fancy word for the arrow?
Yields.
Good. We've got yields. And then what are produced?
Products.
Awesome. Okay, let's count hydrogens. We've got 2 hydrogens, but don't forget the coefficient. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, scoot over. We have 1s times 3 is
3.
all right. Move over. We have 4 oxygens times 3 to make 12. And then move over. We've got 1 iron, but we have 2 molecules of it. So that would be 2. Now, the law of conservation of mass says if we started with 6 hydrogens, we need to end with 6. If we started with 3 sulfurs, we need to end with that, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's count. Iron. That, we have 2. Good. 2 irons. So far that checks out, right? All right. We've got sulfur. We have 1 inside the parentheses, but there's a subscript. So we have to do 1 times 3. There's no coefficient, so we're just going to put 3. Look at that. So far, those check. All right, 4 inside the parentheses. Can't forget that. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, those match. Okay, we have 2 hydrogens, but there are 3 molecules of it. So 2 times 3 is 6. Does this equation follow the law?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to hand you a paper that says, is it following the law? And you are going to put your first name. Oh, there's room for our middle name. All right, I'm going to give you this paper, and then you're just going to look here. We even have them written out for you. You're going to count the atoms, and then you're just going to circle yes or no if it follows the law of conservation of mass. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to, you can refer to your notes, not for the CFA though. So for now, I'm going to need y'all to shut your notebook, okay? And then you're going to go to Eduphoria. So you need to go get your laptop and go to Eduphoria. Second period, thank you for letting me not have to repeat this 4 more times. We love you.
Second period was probably my most favorite class.
That's what